I had a friend that wanted to join the Navy, but when he went to his local recruiter, he didn't have a path or a plan set in place before he joined, and the recruiter basically told him what he was going to be doing and for how long. He didn't really have too much of a choice in the say. And when he got to the fleet, he was scraping paint on the side of aircraft carriers for 4 years. It was not an enjoyable experience for him. But the differ between myself and him is that when I went to my recruiter, I already had a plan in place. So I knew what I wanted to do and for how long. And this just goes a long way in your quality of life when you're in the Navy, is doing something that you want to do. So I was in for 5 years as an airplane mechanic, which was an amazing job. I would recommend it to just about anyone. But some things that you can do wrong even before you join is just not being ready. And that's why I hope to inform you a little bit about is how to properly prepare yourself before even thinking about joining the Navy. And before you even go to a recruiter, you should look up online the jobs that the Navy has to offer. Because the jobs, just looking at the job list can help you so much. Because sometimes the jobs that you're looking for isn't available, but there's a job that's similar to or equal to what you want to do. And just knowing that it's available will help you tremendously. So once you get your plan in place and you go talk to your recruiter, it's going to be a little bit of a process because there's a lot of paperwork behind it, especially if the job that you want isn't open. For myself, personally, I had to wait 11 months just to get a job opening. But I was more than willing to wait for it than sign up for something I don't want to do. Because once you sign up and you raise your right hand and you pledge your oath, that's that. You're stuck with the Navy for the next 4 years of your life, and it can be a little disheartening at times. But that's one thing that's very important before you even go talk to recruiters. Have a path. One thing you can, or two things you should do before you go to boot camp is you should be physically fit to the standards of the Navy and above that. Because if you're not above that, when you get to the Navy or when you get to the boot camp, you're gonna be drilled daily. You're gonna be mentally tired. So when you do actually go take your fitness tests 2-3 weeks into boot camp, you're gonna be tired. You're not gonna be at the same physical fitness that when you first wanted to go. So if you're beyond the standards of what the Navy wants you to be, you have leeway in how you perform. And the second thing that you should definitely know before going is having the core knowledge of the Navy. So knowing ranks, how to address people, what terms and names we have for things like the floor is not the floor, it's the deck, and the walls are bulkheads. So just little small things like that can help you so much in boot camp. Because if you do well enough in boot camp, you can be promoted out of boot camp, which puts you months, if not a year, ahead of the people to your left and right. And it helps you out tremendously. But what happens when you're done with your contract? So there's a couple different routes you can take. You can either have a hard out option or a soft out option. When you take the hard route, you just separate from the Navy and you go on with your civilian life. But if you take the soft route, you can join the reserves, which basically means you go meet up with your command once a month, and just 1 weekend a month, and you just have that initial. You still have contact with your command, so you can come back in basically whenever you want. Another thing is the GI Bill. The GI Bill is really nice. It'll pay for your college when you get out and help you further your education. Another thing is the VA. The VA will be there to help you with any injuries that you had while you were in, or with school, just any little minor stuff like that. So just as a conclusion, just make sure you have a path before you go to the recruiter. Make sure you're ready for boot camp, and just know the options that happen afterwards.